This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
Manners maketh man.
I like how I was wondering also, first off, welcome to our movie review of Kingsman this week. Johnny and I went and saw Kingsman, The Golden Circle. We're going to tell you all about it. I was wondering coming in today how you were going to say it. Were you going to say it
You thought
like a Kingsman or like a statesman?
Yeah.
I didn't know which way you were going to go with that. And I'm glad you went the Kingsman route.
I was thinking statesman, but I'm like, hey, you know what? Just going to say it.
It is called Kingsman.
It is called
for
Kingsman.
a reason.
But you know what, Ricky? I have to say one thing.
Okay.
This one's for me.
It is for you. I didn't expect you to pull out an actual knife on the podcast. But that's a first. That's a first. Whereas
Come on.
Halle Berry's character, she even in an interview was like, yeah, knives.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, so like a Jinx? And she goes, no, Jinx 2.0. It's going to be a Jinx 2.0. But if you're new to a movie review here on MVP, we kind of split it up into three parts for you.
Yes.
The first one's kind of like a general synopsis. Not really a synopsis, but what we thought generally. Then when we get through that, we go ahead and kind of dive into spoiler mode, talk about some of the big stuff that we're thinking about with this film, and then finally we end the whole review giving our Show Stealer Award. Showstopper? I'm fucking it up nowadays.
It's always a different thing each week.
We basically give an MVP. We give an MVP for the film, and then we give our rating of it. And before we get into it, I got to do a little bit of housekeeping. One of the commenters corrected me on that. I kept saying house cleaning for about a month.
Yes.
We're doing a little bit of house cleaning, Johnny. But no, we're doing a little bit.
I'm cut. I'm the lowest on the totem, so I get cut.
We're doing a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast in order to help support the channel and keep these movie reviews and podcasts going. But Johnny, let's get right into it. Kingsman, The Golden Circle. What were your expectations going in, and were they met with the sequel?
Actually, I think they were met, maybe even exceeded, because there were some twists in there that you didn't 100% expect. Obviously, it's got some of the generic tropes of a spy movie, right? Yeah. Am I right? But I mean,
they're also trying to make fun of that Bond style.
Exactly, they are, which is great, which is why you have those tropes. But it's great because they have. I'll say this: the villain was just the same demeanor as Valentine from the first one.
Yes, kind of a
goofball,
and very
casual, kind of a goofball. To me.
In moments, you would be like, "Why are you so casual?" Very casual, like never. That's the thing with Valentine, and then Poppy in this one.
Yeah,
didn't let emotions take over.
No,
was not an emotional character. I think Valentine was a little bit emotional at times.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Poppy, no over-the-top emotions.
No, not really.
She was just crazy. Like, you saw that smile. It was going on in here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she was going crazy in here, but she was just batshit crazy.
Exactly.
From the start.
But that was great. That, brings a new demeanor to the whole aspect of the villain.
Yeah. And, I mean, with this movie, to me, just kind of generally overall, it's a Kingsman movie.
Exactly.
Like, if you saw the first one, this is what you would expect from a Kingsman movie. And I felt like this movie, they took what they did in Kingsman 1 and just turned the knob up to 10.
Yeah.
Like, they turned the knob up. They turned that knob, and they're like, we're gonna push the envelope a little bit more. We're gonna give you everything that you liked in a Kingsman movie, like the little back and forth between Merlin and Eggsy, and how they go back and forth, especially also between I'm gonna say Eggsy and Galahad. I'm not gonna call them both Galahad because that's just gonna get confusing.
Yes,
but even the interchange between Galahad and Eggsy as well after they get reunited with that. That's not a spoiler, by the way. And the only reason I'm saying that is because it was in the trailer.
Yes.
It was in the trailer. I'm defending myself, John.
Honestly, all the interactions were great between Eggsy and Whiskey, between Eggsy and Eggsy, Galahad, and anyone else. All the Merlin were great. All the interactions were great. They just they didn't feel none of them felt forced.
And this is also, you got the same kind of comedy that you did before in Kingsman 1. You got the same kind of what's the attitude from Eggsy, but there were things in here that pushed the envelope, and
we'll have to wait for spoiler mode to say
and that's
those.
what I was going to ask. Is there anything, because I feel like with this movie we're kind of tiptoeing into spoiler mode.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not
already.
to.
It's really hard not to. Is there anything before we get into spoiler mode that you want to bring up for someone who might not have seen the movie and is still on the fence?
No. I think
definitely
we're good.
they should go see it.
They should go see it.
They should go see it. It's a really good movie. You'll see our rating at the end. But this is where we're kind of going to enter into spoiler mode. So if you have not seen the movie, you want to see it, don't want anything spoiled, hit that pause button. We will be here waiting. Go see the movie, come back, then listen to us. And if you don't care, just roll right on through. But Johnny, let's move right into it. We are going to enter spoiler zone.
Spoilers.
And with this one, usually we kind of start from the beginning and kind of go through the movie. But with this movie, I'll be honest, until we walked into the studio today, I did not know that apparently the Glastonbury scene was as controversial as people are making it out to be.
Yeah, I didn't know that until you read the article.
We walked in, I looked at Screen Rant, I saw Kingsman 2 director reveals how they shot the Glastonbury scene, and I went, at first I'm like, the Glastonbury scene? And then I'm like, oh, that scene. And then I'm sitting there and I'm going, you know what? I can see why people are offended by it.
Yeah.
But really, it's Kingsman. What did you expect?
Right.
We got at the end of Kingsman 1.
An anal sex scene.
The anal sex joke of like, hey, if you save the world, I'll give you anal sex.
Yep.
And then you see the bum shot right at the end of Kingsman before the trailers roll. You knew you were going to get something like that. So that's why I'm like, you know what? It's not like, oh, don't be offended. It's nothing serious. There's some people that may look at the scene and go, no, that's just your cup of tea. But you knew what you were going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Going
You're
into
something.
It. Just don't take mom and dad to go see this movie.
No,
that's what I'm saying. But we do have a quote. I like to read quotes here on the Rick and Johnny podcast.
He does.
We got one from director of the movie, Matthew Vaughn. And here's what he had to say about it. Well, that's the beauty of filmmaking, isn't it? We had to get a lens made. We had to get a camera position dolly very closely to someone's body, but you didn't want to hurt them by mistake. Having to use Eggsy and then another hand because it got quite intimate, as you'd say, and making that seamless. It was one of those things that could have been a disaster. In some people's minds, I know that they think it's a disaster already because they didn't like it, which is fine, and I respect it, but other people do like it, end quote. And I'm going to ask you, Johnny, I am on the side, I had no problem with this. It wasn't like they tried to fit this in not prematurely, but like they didn't try to force it in to the movie. Like the entire, I get it, but they didn't try to force it into the movie like, hey, we got to do this. It was just one of those naturally things
fit in.
Where Whiskey tells Eggsy, hey, you know what? You got to get this in the bloodstream. How are you going to do it?
Has to touch a mucous membrane.
Yeah. And right away you knew from then, it's like, okay, he is going to either have sex with this girl or at least get that finger down there.
Yeah,
like you knew it right from there.
Eggsy goes, well, how am I supposed to get this up her nose?
Yeah.
It's and like
then Whiskey just like looks at him like, come on, bro.
Right.
But what did you think of the whole scene? Like after watching it, did you have a problem with it?
It fit in really well. For one, I didn't even realize that was actually, let's just say it was inside of her. The camera was inside her. Well,
and that's the whole thing of like, that's what I'm assuming because of...
That's what it sounds like from the article.
From the quote that you have Matthew Vaughn said where he says like they needed to get a lens made. They needed to get the camera position dollying in there. And then I'll just jump straight to it because this is even more onto the point of what you were saying. You also had Taron Egerton, who played Eggsy, who said, and I quote, "It's what Matthew does. It's his signature thing. He likes to do something that shocks. In Kick-Ass, it was Chloe Grace Montez saying the C word. In Kingsman 1, it was the bum shot of the Swedish princess. And in this one, it's The Thing. and you know it's not everyone's tastes, but it certainly gets people talking. All is explicitly showing what Bond alludes to and says in a double entendre kind of way. And that's where he's kind of defending it. It's not their cup of tea, but this isn't new for a Matthew Vaughn movie. He's done it before.
I mean, I'm not sure honestly what there is to get controversial about, because I'm not going to say she did.
Yeah.
But something tells me that the actress had, well, for one, the actress in one way or another had to have okayed them doing it.
Yeah, and that's why, I'll be honest, I thought that what I was looking for was in the exit quote.
Yeah.
It was not. It was earlier in the article where they say, this leads to a very highly graphic shot down and inside Clara's body, who played, I believe her name was Poppy. No, Clara, the actress's name is Poppy Delevingne. It was, Clara was the actor, the character's name was Clara.
Yeah.
The actress's name is Poppy Delevingne.
Yes, there you go.
I was getting their first names confused, but
because one of the characters is named Poppy.
Yeah, just by shooting down, just the phrase "shot down and inside Clara's body."
Yes,
that to me. Of course, they used the character's name there, but that insinuates to me that what we saw was not like CGI or anything,
except for maybe the little,
maybe
light
at the very end. Yeah. But
I mean, if that's the case, they would have had to get some consent from her in order to do that.
No, they would need. They would need to.
Which to me then means there's really no controversy over it. If that's not your cup of tea, don't go see the movie.
Here's the only thing.
That's a Matthew Vaughn thing in general. Don't go see the movie. You don't like that stuff.
Here's the only thing I can see kind of controversy with this is it kind of leads to then the question of, does this, if that was a lens position there and that was actually her, is this kind of bridging that line between you know where I'm going to? Is it kind of tiptoeing that line of a regular movie and then some recreational movies that sometimes women and guys and adults like to watch?
I mean, if anything, it's worse.
Porn. I'm talking about porn.
Yes, I know.
Well, I'm telling them.
Oh, you're telling them in case someone didn't get it. Yeah. That's right. No, I mean, hell, the one from the scene from the first at the very end is more pornographic than this. This is more like an ultrasound, if anything.
Kind of.
Or a colonoscopy. It's not. It's more of a medical film than it would be a pornography. Because the first one, you actually saw her ass.
Yes.
In the insinuation that they were about to have anal. So, I mean, you can't really say this is more controversial than that if you're going the porn route on that.
And I'm watching the scene just to jog my memory of I hope this is the one I'm looking for, of the Kingsman one. No, the one I was looking for was at the beginning. This is the one. Nope, here it is. Yeah, exactly. And that was just because now I just saw it again.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of what you would see in a porn video from the first one too.
Exactly.
So I look at this and I go, my main point is you got what you expected.
Exactly.
You got what you expected. Of course they were going to turn the knob up a little bit.
And I'm just stating now. I mean, if that's not your cup of tea, then don't go see it. We thought it was a great movie. We're fine with that kind of scene.
It wasn't, and here's the thing. I first off agree with Matthew Vaughn when he says, because they didn't like it, which is fine, and I respect it. If you didn't like it, if you saw the movie, you didn't like that, I respect your opinion.
Exactly.
I respect that you didn't like it. The thing that I'm telling you from my side of it is it would be different if it was forced into the movie.
Exactly.
It would be different if it lingered longer than it did.
No, all it was is to set up the fact that the tracker was inside of her.
Needed to go in her and needed to go into the bloodstream. That's what it was.
That's all it was.
And even everything before it, they played it up nicely with the whole Tinder joke that Whiskey didn't get because he's older. The whole thing where Eggsy calls the Swedish princess his now girlfriend and hey, I got to have sex to save the world. And then she gets all mad at him and then he says he can't do it, but then he does. And the thing that I find interesting with this, and this is kind of going to bring us out of this and into another thing, I like when Taron Egerton says, explicitly showing what Bond alludes to and says it in a double entendre kind of way. That's what this movie is. It's a different, it kind of makes fun of the whole spy genre and James Bond genre that we see.
Yeah. No, it does. I mean, it's there to make fun of even that part of it, which always the innuendos, the idealism, like, oh, they're gonna have sex at the end or whatever of this part of it. But the thing with that is Matthew Vaughn pushes it to a little bit different of a level, and like, yeah, they show him, he slips the hand down her underwear, and then they go show the thing.
And that's the thing where he said we had to get another hand. So that wasn't actually Eggsy's hand. Well, the actor's hand. That's why I'm using air quotes there. But still, the scene was Eggsy's hand, and then that's it. Yeah. That's all you got. So
and then you're inside there. It's not like we saw it and then went inside.
Let's move on, though, from it. Because I feel like most of this has been on that, and this is the big kind of story coming out of this movie. Yeah. Of course, we're going to hit it. But I want to ask you, what was your favorite scene from this movie? And you can't say the Glastonbury scene because we just talked about it.
No. Honestly, I want to say the end fight scene
was
probably
Kingsman.
one of the
Classic
best.
Kingsman.
And I'm starting from where, and oh wait, we're in spoiler mode, so I don't have to say it.
No, we are in.
Where Merlin, Mark Strong, I'd say from when he saves Exy and steps on the landmine himself.
That was interesting because here's the thing. I was looking at that where he freezes it.
Yeah.
Why did he step on it then?
Because they only had seconds before the freezing agent went and it would have exploded.
So they all would have died anyways.
Yes, if he hadn't stepped on it instead. Because look at the distance they had to get to for them to be safe.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been able to.
They wouldn't have made it, especially with all that brush behind them.
And this is also the second Channing Tatum movie that we have seen here for Rick and Johnny that has the John Denver song Take Me Home in it.
Country roads, take me home.
This is the second
one
time
with Channing Tatum we've seen with that song in it.
Gambit's gonna have it too.
God, it's gonna. I feel like this is gonna be a complete joke with every Channing Tatum movie.
Every Channing Tatum movie,
and I feel like we almost may have to see every Channing Tatum movie just to see if it's in there or not.
I'm okay with that. I love Channing.
I know you do.
I love Channing Tatum.
Ricky's got posters that I don't know about.
Speaking of that, that's my one little. Because I didn't have too many negatives with this movie.
No, I remember.
That was one negative that I had, more so not like a negative like, man, you should have changed it. Just a negative of I was excited for Channing Tatum's character.
Yeah.
And he was there for a little bit and then basically out for most of it.
Yeah, he was.
Because he and got
likes
the little
to do drugs. He got the blue rash.
The little blue rash, which really to me, wasn't that just the veins popping out?
It looked like the drugs were going through the vein, kind of through the vein type thing. So I mean, but they called it the blue rash.
Yeah, which I mean, that's the only thing I was like, I wish Channing Tatum
was in the movie more,
in it a little more. I mean, Pedro Pascal did a great job with Whiskey, and he was in it a lot more. That's one thing I did like with this movie. And I was talking to Dave Oster of MVP yesterday about it, and the thing I love most is. They did the little twist.
Yes.
Where they're in the cabin. At first, when Whiskey's like, oh, let me see the antidote. A part of my brain was like, that's a fucking stupid, that's a fucking weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, why would you, if I was actually, I was like, why do you need to see it? You can see it right here.
Yeah.
Your eyes ain't broken. You don't use your hands to see. What are you doing, bud? What are you doing? I'm like, okay, maybe some. And then when he goes to save Eggsy, I'm like, no.
Knocks it out of his hand.
Well, at that point, the way they filmed it and everything, at that moment, you could defend that he didn't mean to do it on purpose.
Yeah, no, I mean, they set it up to be halfway between where it's like
it was an accident.
It looks like an accident, but at the same time, you kind of see he kind of pushes Eggsy, but also hits the little vial.
But I love how they did that whole twist where it was basically you had Galahad who was like, nope, boom, you're dead.
Yeah.
Nope, he's a double agent. And then it's like when Eggsy saves him, you're thinking, is he? It wasn't a clear, yes. It was a clear, it was
it's
clouded.
A straight maybe.
To where you're like, I think he could, but I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't.
Because Galahad was having problems.
Yes, because everything with the
phantom butterflies.
Yeah, coming out of it and stuff. And at the end, that was when they twisted it like that. And it's like, he's not a double agent,
But he's got his
just
own
doing
agenda.
it for his own agenda, basically because his high school sweetheart was dead.
Was killed.
Here, and I'm going to ask you,
Yes.
what did you think through all that? Because I loved it. I loved the twist. I loved how they put it out there to make you think, like, is he a bad guy? Is he going against the statesman? What's going on
No,
here?
I thought that was a great twist on putting it out there, because at first, like, you start to doubt, like, oh, maybe he is a double agent or a mole, and then he gets shot in the head. He goes through the aquagel thing, and then she snaps it, like ginger ale. Halle Berry snaps him out of it, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go save them." Then you're still like, "Well, is he?" Or I gotta go help them. He's like, "Wait, is he gonna go?" I was in the point where it's like, is he gonna go help them?
No.
Or is he there to like help Poppy?
You forgot the best line from that little exchange.
Huh?
Get the silver pony on the runway.
Yeah.
Talking about the fighter jet.
His fighter jet, yeah.
Calling it the silver pony.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I loved how they did that twist.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
dude.
didn't reveal it fully until basically the end.
And that's like he's there, like it's weird. Like you're on edge about that, just like not literally on edge, but you're on edge about that until like he gets there, and it's like, oh, he actually does come to help them, and then no, he pulls a gun on him. It's like, and then like you're like you think mole, and as soon as he starts explaining, it's like, oh shit, we were wrong in both ways.
And I also want to bring up this about Whiskey is I wonder how many times he has died or been shot in the face.
Yeah, to have
because
that's true.
The thing when you think about with Galahad, they were like, well, we don't know what's going to spark that traumatic experience.
Bring back the memories.
What's going to bring back the memory? Eggsy, once he got it, he's like,
as soon as he saw a picture of his dog, he's like,
the dog, man, it is Mr. Peanut?
Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles. Pickle Rick. But the whole Mr. Pickle thing is what sparked that. How easy was it for Ginger just to go, here he is, here's the picture.
Sorry to
Boom,
do this.
You're back to go. Like, it's kind of like robotic at that point.
She knew.
It's like, okay, here it is. That means that he has at least gotten shot in the face once.
At least one other time.
Or shot in the head. Because if you get shot in the eye, like Galahad, they're not bringing back your eye.
No.
But he has at least gotten shot in the head, right?
At least one other time.
Because of how easy it was.
Here's the thing. How many times have they been shot in the head for them to have this technology? That I brought up on the way home. It's like,
yes. How many times did they lose because they didn't have the technology?
Yeah. I mean, how many... a little crackhead Americans in a sense. How many people got shot?
Yeah.
For doing something stupid?
Well, and I mean, I also like what Pedro Pascal said in an interview where he was basically like, yeah, you know, the thing about it is like we were supposed to be like we're supposed to be guests in this movie. Statesmen were supposed to be guests. And he's like true Americans, we just came in as guests, but left as bosses.
Yep.
And I mean, part of me is like, yeah, I can see that because most of it takes place in the United States when they're at Statesman in Kentucky.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing, another thing I loved how they kind of linked the two movies together. And they they did that thing where it's like, oh, Statesman's been here. This is a scene because that scene from the first film, the church scene, which is one of my favorites. From the film where everyone's going crazy on the mind control thing. They come in. They're like, whoa, what's going on in Kentucky? They come in. They save Galahad's life. Yeah. And you kind of get that little link between them. Also, another thing that plays in from the first to the second is Charlie. Did not know it was Charlie at first. Because he shaved head, kind of had a robotic voice. And at first I'm like, is there something wrong with the sound system? Like, I'm like, that's going to bug me throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, no.
But then other people started talking, and I went, oh, okay, maybe it got fixed. Then they realized he has a mechanism here because he lost his vocal cords. Yeah. And he's got basically a robotic arm like Deadpool. Yeah. Like Francis and Deadpool. Isn't it Francis?
He didn't have a mechanical arm.
I thought he did.
You're thinking,
wasn't there someone in Deadpool that had a mechanical arm?
No, that was Logan. That was Logan.
I thought Francis had one.
Nope, that was Logan. Francis had mutant powers.
Okay. One of them.
It was Logan. It was from Logan.
I thought
it was
Francis
the main
did
villain
too.
from Logan.
Yes. Basically, mechanical arm is what I'm going with. And I like how the upgraded one he had can shoot the hand and bring it right back. But that was a character
tension cable throw.
At the beginning, I was like, "Who is this?"
No, yeah,
like, he didn't even
recognize
look the
him.
same.
I didn't recognize him. Even when they put picture to picture, I'm like, he doesn't look like him.
It's a shaved head.
It's
really the shaved head. What else from this movie did you like?
I'm
bringing up a lot of things that I liked, mainly.
A lot of the fight scenes were fantastic. Let's go with Poppy, actually. Just her demeanor on everything. And going with the generic
fucking psychopath is what she is.
Exactly. But so calm, and I have to have my seat. But it was great because they went the trope of a secret lair somewhere hidden way off, and this is.
But it's all 1950s.
She's like, well, I missed home, so she had all the like a 1950s diner, movie theater. It was all like
shop.
Like a small town.
Yes.
1950s small town.
She even captured Elton John.
Yes, that was hilarious.
And had mechanical dogs named Benny and Jet.
Yes.
I didn't understand it. Like, at first, before we even knew Elton John was in the movie, you leaned over and went, Benny and Jet. And I was like, at the time, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, their names are Benny and Jet. And then Elton John, I'm like, ha, get it, Benny and the Jets.
Take you a little bit,
I get it. Well, I didn't expect Elton John to be in it.
It's still funny because I
didn't expect it to be an Elton John reference out of nowhere.
I mean, I got it because of just how Poppy is. Oh, I miss nice small town area thing, and Benny and the Jets with an Elton John song of like probably her era. Yeah. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I know you did because you leaned over and laughed and told me about it. But even the fucked up scene of like her grinding people up in the meat grinder and feeding it to people.
Throw them in.
Viva Las Vegan. I was like, really? She's vegan? That's the whole thing? That Maybe. She's a vegan? But one more thing I liked with this.
Okay.
And then we'll get to, I want to get to maybe something you didn't like. I didn't know if there's anything you didn't like in this. And then we'll get to our show stealer, the president.
Yes.
Loved how he was like not depicted, but like how the character played in of basically like, you know what, we're going to kill two birds with one stone. In the public, I'm going to seem like a good guy.
Yeah.
But in the end, we're just not going to get it done. We're not going to get it done and kill two, like he said, kill two birds with one stone.
Bobby loses everything, and we get rid of a bunch of drug addicts.
I like how he goes, congratulations, gentlemen, we just won the war on drugs. Just won the war on drugs. Because if there's no one to use it, who's going to use them?
Exactly.
And the thing is that I liked most is I loved how they had his chief advisor
as someone,
get the rash. I was like, you knew it was coming, and I loved it. And right after Eggsy saves the day, I leaned over to you, and what did I say? Impeachment.
Yep.
Next scene, president impeached. Anything that, before we get on into show stealer though, anything you didn't like?
Honestly, no. Like I said, it was at or a little bit past where I expected, exceeded expectations. Only thing I can say is I'm not a fan of I'm not a big fan of Channing Tatum in a derby.
In the hat?
Yeah, in the hat. Not a big fan of that.
You're also not a fan of Jeff Bridges' facial hair in this.
No, I wasn't.
I'm sorry, champagne.
Champagne.
Or if you really know me, people call me Champ.
No,
you weren't a fan of the facial hair for Jeff Bridges.
No, I wasn't. In between is not a good look. Either full facial hair or maybe it's just too light of a color. All I know is I wasn't a fan of like what they did with his facial hair.
What do you think of two last things actually?
Okay.
First off, what do you think of Ginger being a statesman? And two, what did you think of the ending when we saw Channing Tatum in that bolo? In like
the derby?
The Kingsman kind of look up.
I thought it was an interesting setup to maybe a possible next one.
But what is the next one going to be?
That's a good question because we already got Statesman, we got Kingsman. Maybe another region. Otherwise, I have no idea.
Because that's really the Statesman coming over to London.
Yeah, well, them becoming brother instead of cousin companies.
Here's the thing I thought of it, and this is what I'm going to throw out there is at the end. You know how they're like, we want one of you guys to come on and be a statesman.
Yeah.
And then Ginger says, no, I'd like to throw my hat into the ring. Do you think off camera that was basically a little nod at, you know what? Instead of having one of you be here, let's trade. Eggsy's a statesman, and then Tequila became a Kingsman.
That could be. Either that
just so
or
that they have a link between
either
the
that
two.
or just because Eggsy's kind of like more so got to do the Prince thing, and maybe that's kind of put him on a sort of hiatus.
Ooh,
because I mean,
I didn't even think we didn't even get to that. How he married the anal sex princess.
Yeah, that sounds so weird.
It sounds weird, but that's what it is.
Sounds like it should be on a different program.
Yeah,
Ricky.
a different program, not on MVP, not on YouTube too.
No, definitely not. No, it sounds like maybe, or they're just. Again, they're now instead of being cousins, they're brother companies, and they just interchange. And maybe because they do need to set up a new Kingsman now, because there's Eggsy and Galahad.
Yeah, they're at.
That's it.
Roxanne's dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone else is dead. Everyone's dead except the two of them. And so Merlin dies at the end. Sadly, poor Merlin.
So really, it's only Galahad and Eggsy.
It's the two of them. So maybe they're like, "Hey, Tequila, go over there. You'll be a higher member,
just to help them get back on their feet."
Exactly. It doesn't mean he's going to stay there. Maybe it's just like the rebuild. I mean, hell, the next movie could be the rebuilding of Kingsman.
And Eggsy kind of, because it's going to be interesting how Eggsy deals with being a prince
and a Kingsman
and being a Kingsman.
Exactly. That's going to be interesting. So I mean,
or does he stop being a Kingsman altogether?
I don't think so. I really don't think so, because, I mean, what's he going to do besides the Prince stuff on the side? It would be cool to see him where he balances both. So, I mean, that could be another movie is setting up, reinstituting Kingsman, because they only have two members right now, and kind of the correlation between the two of them again.
Yeah, but Johnny, let's end up shop. Let's close up shop. That's what I'm looking for. Close up shop. And we're going to give our show stealer and our MVP, and then give our rating out of 5 whiskey bottles.
Yep.
Is what we are going to do today. But I'll let you go first. Who is your show stealer from Kingsman 2?
My show stealer is, drum roll, because I can't remember his name all of a sudden. No, not a real drum roll. Oh, crap. Where is he? Pedro Pascal as whiskey.
I was almost going to help you, but I'm like, nope, he'll find it.
Yeah, no, he was very...
He's a big boy. He can do it on his own.
We're debatable on that.
I'm a big boy now.
No, I liked Pedro Pascal in this movie. Yeah, new character, but pretty quick development of him. And just the fact of doing pretty good as keeping it of like, is he or isn't he?
Thing.
Exactly. Is he sold the more of, is he or isn't he the mole?
Yeah, and I mean, Pedro is...
He wasn't...
I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going transparency here. Me and you were discussing. You almost gave it to Mark Strong.
I did.
Who played Merlin. I'm going to be honest. If you gave it to Mark Strong, I would have gave it to Pedro Pascal. But I didn't want to give it to the same person. I am going to give my show stealer to the only other person that... Because, I mean, we talked about Taron Egerton. Basically, he was just Eggsy again.
Yeah.
I mean... Edward Hallcroft did do a good job as Charlie, but nothing really special to me.
No.
Also, you had Colin Firth, who was Harry and Galahad, but really to me was just the same character. I'm going to go with a new character as well. I'm going to go with Julianne Moore as Poppy. Just how she played the just crazy fucking drug lord.
Super calm, crazy drug lord.
Exactly. Those girls are the worst, Johnny, because they're batshit crazy.
Yep.
The ones that are calm, but like inside, there's like a fire raging in the mind.
Oh, I mean, when you calmly tell someone.
Oh, and then her laugh, that laugh of just like, but really it's like, oh no, bitch, you gonna die.
No, I mean,
die.
She said, oh, you're gonna show me loyalty, huh? You're going to do it without question? Throw him in the meat grinder. What?
Yeah, exactly.
That was a complete...
whoa. And that's like within the first 5 seconds of us meeting her.
Yeah, exactly.
For the first time. So, I mean, she did a great job with the character. And that's why Pedro was it was either Pedro or Julianne in my mind.
Yeah.
You gave it to Pascal. I'll go ahead and give it to Julianne Moore in this one. A really nice performance. Now we get to the real part. what is your rating out of 5 whiskey bottles?
I'm gonna give 5 whiskey bottles out of 5.
I'm the same.
Great. It's a great movie.
This is a movie to where I really like. I had 2 thoughts coming out of the movie theater. One, this is a Ricky movie. Like this is like, if you want a Ricky movie, what would get Ricky like a 5 out of 5 from Ricky Widmer, this is what you have. You have action, you have great fight scenes, you have a story, and the best thing about the story is they get into it right away.
Yeah. Ricky loves that.
There was no like, oh my God.
Ricky hates build-up.
When are we going to get... There was build-up, but they got to...
No. Ricky hates real build-up. Ricky likes to drop into the movie.
There was build-up in like the film.
Yeah.
But I don't like that build-up right from the beginning. You got to throw... surround me in the universe. Make me feel like I'm a part of the world before you start building things up. And this is it. Like action, comedy, pushing the envelope, being a little bit crude, kind of going and appeasing my my younger youthful self, my adolescent self that is still somewhere in here every day, constantly fighting with the adult version of myself. But 5 out of like this movie, I didn't really have anything wrong with it. The one dislike I had was something where it was like, okay.
No big deal.
No big deal. Don't have to. This is the first movie review where I haven't made a change to the movie.
Yeah,
I've not made a change to the movie whatsoever.
No, you haven't, which is a little surprising, Ricky. We'll have to note this one.
Why'd you get a 5 out of 5?
5 out of 5.
I feel like I talked most of this.
I went in expecting a Kingsman movie. That's what I was given. Mm-hmm. Plus, I mean, some new things.
You got what you expected.
Yeah, and I was given like a little bit more. So yeah, 5 out of 5. I mean, if we didn't have so many movies, I'd say, hey, do you want to go see it again?
Yeah, I know, but we got to go see. The next one we're seeing is American Made, which you dragged me to it. I'm dragging you to American Made.
It's only fair.
Because you even said, you're like, yeah, this isn't the kind of movie that I would usually go and see. Ever since the first preview, Johnny, I was like, we are seeing this movie. We are seeing it. And I just hope that it's better Tom Cruise movie than the last one we saw. Go check out the Mummy review if you want to see how well that went for good old Tommy Cruise. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below. What did you give Kingsman? What rating? Who's your show stealer? What did you think of it? Let us know down below in the comment section. Also, like I said at the beginning, check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. Go ahead and support Most Valuable Podcast on this journey that we are going on through you. Giving you movie reviews, giving you the nerdy news from me and Johnny, giving you the sports news and entertainment that you like from Sean, Dave, Brandon, myself, Mark, everybody here at Most Valuable Podcast. So go check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. Also, what do they got to check out this week, Johnny? The original Rick and Johnny podcast. Yes. As we will have that going up also. I want to thank you guys, though, for checking out our movie review today. And as always, have a good day, everybody.